I think what would be really important to understand why Shively loves this asset class, why I love this asset class, why the 170 folks that are joining right now, a lot of you love this asset class. It comes down to the 5 profit centers. And there's a lot of miseducation or lack of education about how rental properties actually provide this profit for you. So I thought we'd start there. The 5 profit centers, right? The ways that you get paid by rental properties. Number 1 is your net rental income, otherwise known as positive cash flow. And this is one that gets a lot of eyeballs and headlines and is at the forefront of decisions for investors on investing in rental properties, which is a good thing. But also, many times what this net rental income does is it becomes the only decision-making criteria for investors. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. Net rental income would be, listen, you've got your gross rents that are coming in, the rents that the residents are paying, or many people call them tenants. We call them residents because they stay forever. You've got gross rental income coming in, and then you've got expenses that come along with owning and operating the property. So your net rental income would be what's left over after a month. So that's your first profit center. Next, you've got tax savings. And tax savings, again, an incredibly misunderstood profit center. And we have a lot of additional training, and I hope you guys continue to come back on these calls because we can dive more into it. But at the end of the day, rental properties are a tax-advantaged asset, almost like none other. Because you just simply invest in rental properties, you don't have to have any special qualifications. You get advantages on the tax side that you just simply don't get in other asset classes. And so you're able to offset and defer a lot of income through tax write-offs. And so what this does is it keeps more money in your pocket at the end of the year, and you don't have to pay taxes on the income that you earn, which is a great thing. Next, you've got your principal pay down. This is where your residents are living in your home, paying you rent. Not only are they producing positive cash flow, net rental income for you, but they're also paying your loan balance down. And what a great show to go into that, which is, again, going to be the core of the show today. We're going to talk about how to effectively pay those loans down even quicker. But even if we didn't employ the strategy that we're going to be talking about today, it's still happening. And that's because your residents paying that principal balance down for you. Next, you've got home price appreciation. That's your 4th profit center. That's what gets a lot of headlines as well. And home price appreciation, at the end of the day, when you look back on your experience of owning rental properties, home price appreciation will account for 60 to 80% of your overall portfolio returns on investment. It is incredibly important, but again, it's very misunderstood. And I hope you guys continue to come back because we certainly dive into that one a lot. And lastly, it's inflation hedging and inflation profiting. And prior to probably the last 2 years, nobody ever talked about inflation hedging and inflation profiting, but now we all see how important it is. And rental properties as an asset by itself are a hedge against inflation. It's one of the reasons why you see rents and home prices have gone up so much over the last couple of years as inflation has gone up as well. It's not a coincidence. It's happened decade after decade after decade. So those are your 5 profit centers. That's the way you get paid. Shively, which profit center do you love the most?
So it's super interesting, right? Because when I first started investing, and that's one of the reasons I still love doing this, I still love coming on shows, I still love leading the Passive Income Club and working with Fortune Builder students, is because I want to help other families get on the kind of the financial path that I was able to help my family get on, is I saw the impact of it, and also have them learn from the mistakes I made, right? When I first started investing as a newbie investor, because I was solely focused, like you said, on the first one, right? I made the only decision I made was that one sheet of paper that came over. It was a piece of paper, it was an Excel spreadsheet that comes over. It's like, what's my cash on cash return year 1, right? What's my money working for me? How hard year 1? That's the only thing I made decisions off. So at the beginning of my career, I made that mistake, and that was my favorite one. Now that I'm a bit more mature, we joke about, you think I'm super young. I think I'm super old because I've been in this business for going on 16 years now, right? I started when I was 20, I'm 36 now. I've got 16 years of real estate experience, specifically in owning rental properties. And my favorite are the 2 combined, right? Principal pay down and appreciation. And the common factor here is you throw time onto both of those, and that's when it can get really exciting. And so those are my favorites as I've evolved and matured in the business. When you start to move out of just the cash on cash return focus and you start to focus on the whole picture, and you acquire the skills that we teach, the skills that you guys teach at JWB, and you have some stuff that teaches those skills. When you acquire those skills of how to financially engineer your own portfolio, and I'll teach you what I mean about financially engineer a little bit later, you can start to choose what path you want to go down and accelerate things, right? And accelerate your success or accelerate your retirement or reduce the time it takes for you to retire. Whatever your goal is, there is a way to accelerate to it. And that's what financial engineering is. And so those are the two main ones that help you get there faster. So they're my favorite now.
I love it, man. And those are two that are equally misunderstood as well. People think they know about home price appreciation, but they don't really know how to evaluate it. They don't know what to expect from it. Principal paydown, nobody even thinks about that. But the value of surrounding yourself with those who have walked them many, many miles in those shoes before will help you see that. I think about one that is also just incredibly misunderstood at a deep level is cash flow, is net rental income. You know, so many folks spend so much time making a decision on a rental property about an extra $20 a month of cash flow or $50 a month of cash flow in year one. And, you know, that's about the least beneficial part of this entire asset is year one cash flows. But that's what's on the spreadsheet, and that's what many people focus on. What people don't realize is it's not about cash flow today. The cash flow that you buy in your rental properties when you buy it today is not going to change your life. But what it is about is it provides cash flow when you need it. And the way that this asset just grows that cash flow over time is unmatched, is largely unmatched in the investing community.